Welcome back to The Vocalist. Today I am hearing the band Foo Fighters for what I believe is the first time. I didn't recognize any song titles, however, I have heard the name David Grohl more times than I can count. I am acutely aware of his impact and influence in the music industry, so I thought it was time to hear him sing. We are starting with a live performance from 2008 of the song Everlong. Here we go.
Hello, I've waited here for you ever long. Tonight, I throw myself into and out of the red, out of the head, she said, do 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 do. Come down and waste away with me, down with me. Slow how you wanted it to be. I'm over my head, out of her head, she said. And I wonder, and I sing along with you. If everything could ever feel this real forever. If anything could ever be this good again. Only thing I'll ever ask of you, gotta promise not to stop when I say, she said. Breathe out.
Okay, so anytime I have heard the name David Grohl, I don't know, he might have even been in, had a cameo in a movie or something. I just feel like there was a time in my life where I just heard his name all the time and I had no idea who people were talking about, but all I knew was just he was a really good musician. Before listening to this, I learned that he was in Nirvana and obviously Foo Fighters. My initial sort of theories when it came to his singing, I just thought there was going to be a very strong 90s grunge sound, and I am surprised by the tone I'm hearing. There are qualities that are reminiscent of that era in music, but he does a lot of things that just, I don't know, they're so natural and so effortless in his vocal production. So we're going to talk about it. I'm just going to go back to the beginning. Here we go. I love hearing the excitement in the crowd when they figure out what song is next.
Hello, I've waited here for you ever long.
I think that's where it sort of hit me. The beginning we had a decent amount of nasality, of forward placement. That did remind me of that 90s grunge era. But as he's descending into this lower part of his range, I feel that he has taken such a natural approach to these low notes. It's hard to do that because oftentimes we feel we have to exert more energy, we have to change vowel shapes, we have to do a lot to get the tones that we want on the bottom because your chords can only, be so thick and so short. And I like that it almost sounds like he's widening his palette, like he's keeping things really light and really still forward, but just instead of going into this really dark place and trying to force out these low notes, he's just letting them drop and lower in such a natural way.
Tonight, I throw myself into, and out of the red, out of her head she said, do, 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 do.
Let me play that one more time because that was another great example. He starts in that, I don't know how to describe it, but there's just a little bit more press, more nasality, maybe some different vowel shaping in that mid-range that reminds me of 90s music, but then, reminds me, I'm sure that, I don't know where my phone is, but I imagine the song is from the 90s. Actually, let me look it up so I know for sure. 97. So yes, it is 90s music, but I feel that he has done a beautiful job, a decade later, modernizing it, and yet still allowing some of the sounds those signature sounds are still peeking through. But I really love the natural approach, the natural pronunciation and diction. Just everything is just so, it feels so effortless and it just feels so well balanced. I'm not doing a very good job describing all of my thoughts, but we're going to continue. Here we go.
And out of the red, out of her head she said, do, 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 come down and waste away with me, down with me, slow how you wanted it to be. I'm over my head, out of her head she said, and I wonder, and I sing along with you. If everything could ever feel this real forever, if anything could ever be this good again.
I love seeing him chew gum. I feel like that to all the choir kids in the universe. It's like the ultimate rebel move, chewing gum while you're singing. I'm realizing, as I said earlier, I like that he's modernizing it. He very well might not be. This might be exactly how the original sounded, so I will go back and listen to the studio recording of this afterwards. As I mentioned, very specific signature sound that we got from a lot of singers in 90s grunge. But trends change, and they can change very quickly in music, so perhaps it's not that he is currently modernizing it, but that he did at the time so that it was a nice segue into the music that was to come. I don't know.
Only thing I'll ever ask of you, gotta promise not to stop when I say, she said. Breathe out so I can breathe you in.
Let me hear that again. I just Oh, I love his tone. The way he said breathe out, allowing height in and spread in that vowel out instead of saying breathe out and making it really tall and dark. I think it's just got this gorgeous, I don't know, this effervescence, shall we say. It's just so, it's a lovely sound. And it, I don't know, it's just very comforting.
Breathe out so I can breathe you in and hold you in. And now I know you've always been out of your head, out of my head I sang. And I sing along with you. If everything could ever feel this real for well, if anything could ever be this good again, the only thing I'll ever ask of you, gotta promise not to stop when I say.
I love his timing. There are moments when he's keeping a very strict, steady beat, and then there are other moments where we get a lot of, I don't know, he's stretching the time, but he's doing it in a way that is still accessible to the audience. So he's not taking it so out of time and just, singing it the way he wants. He's still doing it in a way that allows people to sing along. But there are moments where I feel that we're getting emphasis on certain words or different articulation. Let me go back just a smidge.
If anything could ever be this good again, the only thing I'll ever ask of you.
Like that, the only thing I'll ever ask of you. I would anticipate that line being faster, but I like that he's stretching it just a smidge.
Good again. The only thing I'll ever ask of you, gotta promise not to stop when I say.
Oh my gosh, I had goosebumps at the end of that one. Let me go back. I really liked that transition. When he joined the rest of the band, took the song up tempo, there was this added fullness in his tone that was so beautiful. I really loved that. let's hear a bit of that. The build up here, the suspense. Oh, I love it.
Are you ready? Let's fucking go! Go! Everything you'll ever feel makes real forever. Anything you'll ever be this good
Oh man, there's a couple of moments where we get a little bit of a growl. It's just so full. You can hear the space and also that added breath pressure. It's gorgeous. You know what? And again, natural sounding vowels. When he said say, it was a bit more spread than everything we had heard up until that point. And it's just, I love that approach. I love just singing the vowels as they are and not trying to turn them into something else just to create a specific sound. I didn't want it to end. I loved that transition so much. It was so thrilling, and I loved the slight shift he made vocally to add fullness to his sound when he joined the rest of the band. I will definitely go listen to the original. I want to hear and compare, just how similar they are, or perhaps not at all. But the big takeaway for me today regarding his voice is just, I really love the natural approach that he has while still incorporating these beautiful stylistic choices that I would imagine are very unique to his sound, his voice, and just, yeah, I feel that it was just such a great combination of what came before and what came after, and you can almost hear in his voice like that transition in music, in that time in music, and that was really cool. So if you have recommendations, please put them in the comments. I'm very eager to hear more of his voice. It sounds like, obviously we heard a lot of great stuff on the bottom. I would say, I don't think we heard the top of his range, but we got a pretty big span of his range in this piece. So it sounds like he has the ability to do a lot vocally, even more than we heard here. I just don't know if he incorporates that into his music or he chooses not to. So let me know. But that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for this recommendation and for watching with me. And hopefully I will see you next time.